Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to President's Spooktacular Fall Forum. The time is now 2:01, so let's get started. Our program follows. First, I'm going to provide a couple quick updates. Then we have a student panel um, uh, that will be facilitated by a faculty member and possibly a dean. And then we will move into four structured activities, three trivia games, and one pet costume contest as really the majority of our time together today. I want to thank all of you for making time to be with us and be with our community today. Thank you again for everything that you do. Oftentimes, this fall forum is front loaded heavy with business and information, and we know that everyone is a bit zoomed out these days, and so we really just wanted to take time to come together and to celebrate with one another this time of year. So if I can please have the slides advanced. I don't think I'm able to do that. Thank you. So these are my quick updates for everyone. 5 updates. The first one starts with success grants for students. We have been very fortunate to have been able to create barriers to student success grant opportunities for our students over the past 5 years. That amount has grown exponentially. And this year in particular, because of special funding that came from the United Way, San Diego Foundation, and the federal and state stimulus packages, we have been able to give out just this academic year more than $1.5 million to our students in direct cash grants. Um, uh, right now, we are distributing the end of that money, the tail end of that money, and the focus at this moment is on funding from the United Way. We're giving out $200 grants in cash to students as they apply. The deadline to apply is November 16. I want to thank in particular, we've given out 169 of these United Way grants, and we expect to give out 800 more by December 31st. I want to thank also employees and community members who contribute to our foundation. If you participate in an employee giving campaign, 50% of your dollars goes to scholarships and award, and 50% of your dollars go to success grants to help students with Wi-Fi, laptops, bus passes, books, and all sorts of incidentals. If a car breaks down or if they're short on housing, rent for the month, they can apply for one of these mini grants from our foundation. So that's the first item. The second is faculty distance education support. I want the faculty and the classified professionals to know that I have heard you and your concerns regarding the challenges that you're having working remotely. Our professional development committee is currently in the process of working cross-sectionally across stakeholder groups to identify professional development needs and supports for our organization. We are in the process of ordering, I believe, 50 additional laptops that have additional capacity and are better laptops, frankly, than the ones that we distributed earlier this year, newer and allow faculty to be able to do more in terms of instructional programming. We are also looking at all existing funds to see how much more funding we can identify for this purpose. And we anticipate in the new year that there will be an announcement of additional stimulus coming from the federal government. And so I have asked both the academic and classified Senate to start identifying the needs and quantifying those needs with actual dollars so that when that funding comes in, which I expect it will at some time in the spring, regardless of who wins the election next week, I want to make sure that the needs of our employees are being met. Which brings me to a third bullet, which is technology for employees. We developed a memo or a form last week that was sent out regarding requests for technology and other materials and supplies to do your daily work. We've received feedback on that form, and so that form is being modified. In the meanwhile, you can use that form, but a new form should be forthcoming that will have input from both the Senates before it's redistributed. And again, just to reiterate that we do have computers being ordered right now. VPA Sabanos is on family leave for a couple weeks, and Anthony Vargas is stepping in for her. So please direct any questions you might have to him and the team. Okay, my third announcement applies to accreditation. Every time we meet, you will hear me talking about accreditation because we need to have evidence that we talk about accreditation in our accreditation self-report. Further, it's important that you as stakeholders are aware of the accreditation process, what accreditation means. So just a quick overview, accreditation is like our license. You know, you need a license to drive a car. Well, in order to to be an accredited institution, to be a reputable institution, you have to get a license from an accrediting commission. And our accrediting commission is ACS WASC, the Association of Colleges and Schools WASC division. We are not accredited by the same entity that accredits the three colleges in our district. They are accredited by ACJCC. In the West Coast, we have a very strange structure. We have a K-12 accrediting commission, a 2-year college accrediting commission, and a 4-year college and beyond accrediting commission. It is my understanding, if nothing has changed, that we are the only region in the country that has a 2-year accrediting commission, and now our 2-year colleges are starting to offer 4-year degrees. And so there is a move now to dismantle AJCC and just have 2 divisions. The reason why we are accredited by the K-12 division of WASC is because we don't offer any credit programming. This past several months, we have spent a significant amount of time working on the action plan. When we prepare our self-study for the accreditation site visit, essentially we have to show evidence that we're meeting all the standards set forth by the accrediting commission. And Jessica Lidke, our Dean of Pre, and her team have been busy at work along with Vice President of Instruction, Michelle Fishdahl, who oversee the accreditation efforts for our institution. We collectively developed an action plan that was tied directly to our strategic plan as part of our last formal accreditation visit. They are now coming back this spring for a mid-cycle visit, and they will then come again at the end of the cycle, which will be in another 3 years. The current undertakings in preparation for that visit were first to provide responses and to update, because we can update our action plan accordingly. And that matter was just approved by Executive Governance Council this past week. And so now we're focused on writing the mid-cycle report. And if you're interested in being part of this work, please contact Dean Lidke. I'm sure she could always use extra hands, but many of you will have some role in this process, either on the day of or in advance of the accreditation site visit, because it truly does take our entire community in order to demonstrate the wonderful work that we do each day here. And evidence is key to accreditation. 5 years ago, when we had our last visit, actually closer to 6 now, I guess, when we had our last site visit, we received positive colors, but it was a very onerous task. And there were many people, Barbara Ponzerkel and Magdalena and Corinne Layton, who were heavy lifters in that work. And they recall that we had not done a wonderful job at documenting the work that we do. I'm happy to report that now that we have an Office of Planning, Research, and Institutional Effectiveness, and we have a strategic plan, and we have software to track this work, we are much more equipped and prepared to participate in an accreditation review. And that brings me to my last item. During the action plan presentation and the accreditation findings presentation from the chair of the accrediting commission back in 2016, spring of 2016, there was a request by the chair of the committee, for those who were, there were about 100 people present on ECC campus, that we examine the name of our institution and that we consider rebranding our organization, because she said that she believed our name was confusing. And this is a challenge that our organization has faced historically. Many local community members are not sure who we are and what we do, and they live right in our community. For many years, some of you might not know, ECC and Continuing Ed were 2 separate institutions. There used to be 5 divisions of our district, because ECC was supposed to be turned into an actual credit college. That never happened, and in the early 90s, under Dr. Bob Matthews, his position changed, and he went from being the head of ECC to being the head of continuing education. And ECC fell under continuing education. That said, many people in our community refer to our whole organization as ECC. Many of the paperwork and forms in the district still use this nomenclature. The one I most frequently get here in the community is that we're part of City College. I hear that, in fact, the other day someone asked me if I worked for the City College Community College District. So even the district sometimes gets folded under San Diego City College. And this is a challenge for me because we do such wonderful work that we should be able to easily communicate who we are and what we do. And the challenge is not just here in our local community, you know, up and down the state, people wonder, are we part of a K-12 district? Are we part of a community college district? Are we a standalone organization? Are we a high school? Are we a college? And this challenge is now coming to a fore because we have an accreditation mid-cycle visit and we need to respond to this recommendation in our documentation. There is a long history, I'm aware, of proposed name changes to our organization. There was an effort to change the name in the early 2000s, and that was a short-lived venture. The president did not work here that much long after he changed the name of the institution. It was my understanding that it was a very top-down process, and lo and behold, the worst part about it is the name that was selected is the same exact name of a for-profit college less than 1 mile from ECC campus. So the name was changed back before Constance came to our district. Many of you probably know that the last chancellor discontinued. He dismantled continuing education. It was to be divided into the 3 colleges. Constance preserved it. And we know Constance is leaving next year. And I'll tell you, I do have fears with all the budgetary uncertainty that a new chancellor of all the options looking at how to balance the budget and make things work is going to have to question whether or not there needs to be a standalone organization. And so I think one of the best ways to get ahead of that is to add the word college to our name. If we add the word college to our name, it becomes very difficult for somebody to close or eliminate a college. Right now, we're referred to as a division of the district or a part of the district. I can't tell you how many meetings I go to. People ask me if my office is near Constance's because they think I work in the district office. And I know everyone in our institution has experienced different challenges. Adjuncts and Nance employees tell me that, you know, they get their first job as a counselor at CE and then they try to get a job in the Bay Area or Los Angeles, and people don't know what continuing ed is. They don't know that you're actually a college counselor with a college contract. And this notion, again, that we're not a college is also disconcerting to me. We are part of the community college system. We are an accredited institution in the California Community College System. Our funding comes from the California Community College System. There are 5 types of courses offered through California community colleges: credit, non-credit, contract, fee-based, and community. Of those 5 categories, CE does 4 of those categories for the district. But most comprehensive colleges up and down the state offer programming in all those 5 areas. The programs that we offer are college programs. They might be college programs that lead to a high school credential or for an older adult population or for adults with disabilities. But what we do is we are a post-secondary institution. And I know that that's disconcerting to some folks because we don't offer credit programming, but we are nonetheless a post-secondary college. And so the proposal that's coming forward to everyone next week that has already been vetted and consultation has been provided from the Senate is to ask the community if you are open to adding the word college to our name. And the word college can be put one of 3 places: College of San Diego Continuing Education, San Diego Continuing Education College, and SD College of CE. So San Diego College of Continuing Education. You will be asked 2 questions next week, and the voting period will be open for 1 week, which coincides with our actual election. So I hope you're voting twice next week. Once for the general election, and don't forget Props 15 and 16 bring big money into the community college system. Propositions 15 and 16 mean we will get a windfall of money, and we will start growing again, as opposed to having the uncertainty we have right now. But I'm not allowed to encourage you to vote one way or another. I'm just sharing with you what I have heard. The proposal next week that you'll receive from me regarding the name change will come in the form of a ballot, and the first question will ask you if you approve of adding the word college to our name. And if you check that yes in that box, then you're going to be asked which of the three names would you support, and then the information will be shared at Executive Governance Council a couple days after the ballots have been cast to determine next steps. So if anyone has questions or concerns or thoughts regarding the name change, I strongly encourage you to send me those considerations. I do believe that ultimately it will elevate the prestige of our organization and the work that we do. I don't know if everyone fully understands our history. We really weren't a career-focused organization, heavy career-focused organization, until after a law changed in 2007, which created CDCP funding, a new specialized funding for non-credit, which elevated the funding for courses that lead to college and career transition, ESL, high school diploma, and career education. As a result of that, many of our programs changed their structure, changed their design. Sewing became fashion, home ec became culinary arts, parent education became child development. And for those that have been with our organization for a while, you know that process has not been slow, and in many cases has not been easy to transition our focus. But the point of this is we increasingly offer programs that are focused on short-term job training. And up and down the state, that's what we're known for. You know, we have a large ESL program, a large DSPS program, but we're not the largest in those areas. But we are the largest in two areas. Emeritus, we have the largest older adult program in the state, and we are the envy of the state. We have the most respected program. Our faculty are are bar none, the most highly regarded across our system. And this is true of most of our programs, but Emeritus is really one of our, people don't think fully appreciate how well we're regarded in that community. But what we're known for across the state is our career education pathways and programs. And the other work we do at ESL, high school diploma, is often focused on getting folks into these career and college transition pathways. We have the largest career education programs in all of our areas except for one, 75 plus areas. And what we do, frankly, doesn't exist around most of the state. But in closing, you know, the expectation is that we will continue to maintain a strong commitment to Emeritus, DSPS, ABE, ASC, ESL, citizenship, all of our programs. But there's a new main competitor that's in our backyard. And this competitor is named Calbright College. And if you're not familiar with Calbright College yet, please look up into it. This is the first fully online, I should say unaccredited, adult education, non-credit career training program in the state. And unlike every other college, its service area is the entire state of California. And so we are now competing with Calbright College for enrollments in our own community. And I have to say, if I'm a student and I see a cybersecurity certificate at continuing education in San Diego or Calbright College is going to look better on my resume if I'm a student and I need to get a job afterwards. Although I guarantee you that our faculty and our curriculum and our program is hands down much better than what's being produced by our competitor. So that's a nutshell. Those are my announcements. Again, any questions, concerns, thoughts, I would love to hear them. If you're on the fence and you want to talk with me, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I do believe this would usher in a new chapter for our organization and really finally legitimize the rigorous, impressive, noteworthy work that our faculty and classified professionals carry out each day. So without further haste, I was supposed to speak for 15 minutes and I went on to 20. And so I see the cane trying to pull me off stage. I do have costume. For those that are here and can see my face. but of course I can't use my mouse during the entire presentation. So we now are going to move on to our student panel, and I believe it's my responsibility to welcome the fabulous Katie Serbian, who typically serves as a faculty member, a counselor in our DSPS unit, but currently is serving as the acting dean of DSPS and Student Affairs and is doing a wonderful job. I can't imagine having to take on this role during a COVID closure, but she's not only keeping the ship afloat, she's actually advancing the programs and the systems and the protocols in these areas. And I want to thank her for her leadership and ask her to come forward and to facilitate the next part of our presentation today. I will see you soon because I'm the host of one of the trivia games later on in the hour.
Hello. Hi. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you for that introduction. That was very, very nice. So I'm Katie Serbian, the acting dean of DSPS and Student Affairs, and I get the honor of moderating our DSPS student panel today. We have a few students from some of our DSPS educational assistance classes who are going to share a little bit about their experience transitioning from an in-person model to an online model. Here at SDCE, we offer educational assistance classes. They're designed to compensate for any educational limitations that a student with a disability may experience, in an effort to support students to complete their educational and career objectives. So we offer about 25 educational assistance classes here, from wellness to cooking to community living skills. We have our acquired brain injury program, basic education. It spans quite an array of topics. And our students here today are a pretty good representation of each of these different classes. So I'd like to start with introductions, and I am going to keep a timer. And as my panelists know, if I give the thumbs up sign, it means that we're a little bit over time. But if we could start with introductions. Mary Mendoza, are you here? Can you introduce yourself and which class you take and what your goals are in coming to DSPS at SDCE?
Hi, my name is Mary Mendoza. I'm in year 4 of being in a DSPS class. I've done so many DSPS classes. Right now I'm in Rosa Manzano's Anatomy and Relationships class, and I really enjoy it. And I really like how the content is and how precise it is to what anatomy is, or how to, have boundaries or have self-time during a relationship. It's really important.
Thank you. Patrick, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Patrick Meyer-Smith, and I go to basic education classes for the deaf. My teacher, who is deaf, her name is Monica Keller. And it's amazing. She's an amazing teacher. She really keeps the class going. She helps us with all of our goals. People come from all over the world, from all different countries and different sign languages for that class. It is amazing. So there's so many people in there, and we all have a connection with each other. So she's a really good teacher and really supportive. And all the students are cool too, all the teachers as well. Yep.
I agree. She's an amazing teacher. Thank you, Patrick. Vincent, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Vincent Bulawing, and I am think basic education with Fred Schmitz, and I have really learned a lot from Fred's class through like math, and my reading skills have been improved, out of 20 years in my in my attendance at ECC.
Thank you. Lauren, would you introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me. My name is Lauren Fury, and I'm a student at the Acquired Brain Injury Program, and I currently attend classes with Heike Kessler-Heiberg, Mia Miyataki, and Margaret Jones. And I've been attending since the summer of 2018, and I actually moved to San Diego from the state of New Mexico exclusively for this program. So I'm currently working on implementing memory as well as note-taking strategies in the hopes to return to accredited courses to complete my bachelor's degree in psychology, as I was a student at the University of New Mexico when I sustained my injury. But I hope to pursue a career in grief counseling.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the first question we ask our panelists is, what has helped you be successful in attending online classes since the beginning of COVID-19? So what has helped with your success in the transition to online classes? And we'll start with Mary.
Hi guys, how you doing? So I have really enjoyed being on the online. You said online, right?
Yes.
So I've been really enjoying being in an online class because it lets me be able to communicate what I need to say without any interruptions. It's more that you get to see everyone and it's not so hard to see everyone and be able to see what their lifestyle is like, and then kind of like how you get to see everyone's personalities and who they are and what they're doing, you know, and it's just overall, I love seeing familiar faces, so I enjoy it.
Thank you, Mary. Patrick, what's helped you be successful in your online class since COVID-19?
Okay, really, the positive thing about that, there's a lot of positive things about the online classes, but there are negatives as well. So I'll talk about the positives first. Wow, it's so easy to learn the technology. You know, people, maybe they didn't know the technology before, but now with the classes, we needed to learn it, and that's great. I've learned a lot about the new technologies, and so much just in the class as well. And I'm sure that I can use all of that in the future. I know sometimes it's kind of hard to keep everything going in this format, but I've been able to do it, and the teachers have helped me with that a lot. But for deaf people, it's always been a struggle because with this internet thing, because sometimes the screen freezes, it's hard to see what's going on. So it's not all positive for deaf people. Sometimes it's harder too with the internet, you know, and communication is obviously important, and it's important to me as well, but I want to let you know there's upsides and downsides to it.
Thank you, Patrick. Lauren, what's your experience been?
There have been many adjustments since the beginning of my online coursework. When I began attending, I was using my tablet, but found it much more helpful to use a laptop, which I purchased specifically for my Zoom classes. It has also helped to apply structure to prepare for each day's lessons. For example, I get ready for the day the same time as if I were preparing to drive to the campus. It's also important to me that I'm seated and my materials are organized as if I was seated in the classroom, opposed to just like laying in bed and attending my classes.
Thank you very much. So what do you want people to know, the folks here on this call, about DSPS or your class or instructor? So if there's something in particular that you want to share with the CE community about educational assistance classes, DSPS, or your instructor, what would that be? And we will start with Mary. You're muted, Mary. There you go.
Thank you, Katie. I wanted to say I love my DSPS classes. I think they're so fun. I think they're very included with everyone around you. I love that, we all get to have a teacher that knows that we all have disabilities, different ones, and we can be our unique self and show ourselves without feeling like, oh, maybe I shouldn't talk about this, or maybe I shouldn't. Like discrimination wise, we don't ever get discriminated. We get to be who we want to be. And DSPS is for people who want to learn different things. And if you have a disability, make sure that you know your education is well important just as much as others, and that you are truly loved in your class with your teacher. They care about you. They're not going to judge you. They really, really want you to just enjoy class and be your true self.
Thank you, Mary. That was really well said. Patrick, what do you want folks to know about DSPS or the classes we offer here?
Okay, well, I think that DSPS is so supportive of disabled people because you provide interpreters, you provide everything disabled people need, everything, anything anybody needs. So I really respect DSPS. I mean, honestly, I get interpreters, everything, plus, wow, you really, like in my classes, we respect everybody in the class, and you respect deaf people everywhere having these classes. I mean, like there are 2 or 3 classes. There are only a few places in the US that have this, but our class is entirely deaf people. We have a deaf teacher, we have deaf counselors. There are not many places in the US that have that. So I feel very fortunate for DSPS here, all the things they offer. I really respect the DSPS office.
Thank you. You're right. Our program is really unique. We are one of just very few institutions that offer the breadth of classes that we do. Vincent, what would you like folks to know about DSPS that are here today? You're muted still, Vincent.
Well, I would like everyone to know that I think DSPS has always been there for those students with disability. I mean, look, been how far we've come from in-person learning to online learning, and they give you the tools and the technology that you need.
That's true. We have a really wonderful assistive technology specialist who's able to check out technology to students that need it. It's a big part of our program. Thanks for mentioning that. Lauren, what would you like folks to know?
As a whole, this program and its instructors are constantly evolving. There is a strong emphasis on applying solutions to a variety of any of life's challenges, which has made us amazingly adaptable during quarantine times. Not a single one of us were born knowing how to walk. We fell a lot, but we learned ways to pick ourselves back up and to continue to try. And ABI's instructors and students have allowed us to learn from each fall. And I'm pleased to say that I'm not currently taking those shaky first steps in recovery, but I'm running.
Thank you so much. I see that we have a latecomer to our panel, Jennifer Springfield. Would you like to unmute and introduce yourself and quickly say how your transition has been to learning online?
Hi, my name is Jennifer Springfield. I'm from ECC. I'm with Fred Smith and DSPS. I'm taking math, reading, spelling, and typing.
How has it been moving from being in person to online, Jennifer?
Little bit challenged, but I like it though.
You like it? What do you like about it?
I'm still learning my what's it called? The online Zoom classes, and I'm still learning though.
Me too. Thank you, Jennifer. So we finished in record time. I don't see any questions for any of our panelists in the chat. So is there anything that any of our panelists want to add in before we close? Any last minute remarks?
I have a quick question too for them, Katie. Just
Okay.
if we could improve our organization, if we could make our campuses or our classes or any of our services better, what recommendations or advice would you have for us? How could we make continuing education even better?
Mary, you want to start?
Hi, Carlos, and everyone on the panel. I think that one time I tried to use a tape recorder for class, and it just was really, really staticky. So maybe make a clearer device that you can record for your class. I know we can use phones, obviously, to record, but it's not the best bet. I think maybe find a better way to record classes so that you can obviously hear clearer, and obviously if you need to go back on some feedback, you're able to. And I think that's my recommendation for a change. But you guys are amazing. I love DSPS. I can say so many positive things. Put me on the news. I love DSPS, and I'll represent it every shape, way, form.
Be careful what you offer. We
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
Awesome. Any other ideas on how we can make continuing ed better? And I'm going to ask Dean Serbian, Katie Serbian, to follow up with you, Mary, on your request. Okay.
Absolutely.
I know Vincent's never shy. He's in our student government, so he's always bringing ideas to us.
No.
Okay, well then let's get to the games. Thank you very much, Dean Serbian. Thank you to our wonderful student panel. I want you to know, if you haven't been told, you are going to be receiving gift cards for your participation today to say thank you for your time. And so I'll make sure that those get out to you in the mail at some point or by email. So stay tuned for information. We are now going to move to our three games, but and I know Dr. Rivera, I believe, is our who's either Dr. Koski, Lori Koski is our facilitator for the first game. Dr. Rivera Lacey is the facilitator for our second game, and I'm the facilitator for the pet costume contest, which will be, the winner will be announced by Dean Andre Lucas. And then I will facilitate the third trivia game. The first one focuses on Halloween, the second one on Dia de los Muertos, and the third one is an election, get out the vote knowledge for the trivia games. Each of the trivia games also comes with a $50 gift card for the winner. So please make sure you participate and think hard about the answers. There'll be one winner for each trivia game. And then for the pet costume contest, it's $100 grand prize for the person who gets the most votes by the judges. And we have representatives on our judge panel from our academic classified senates and of course our leadership team. So without further haste, I'm going to turn the microphone over to the wonderful Lori Koski, who is the executive director of the San Diego Continuing Education Foundation, and a huge part of the reason why we're able to do so much wonderful stuff to support our students, because the foundation raises a lot of money and brings in a lot of resources to make our organization stronger and better for our students. Lori?
I'm muted. Thank you, Dr. Cortez. What a treat this afternoon has been so far, both to listen to you and also I was really moved by our panel. Thank you very much, Dean Serbian, and all of the presenters on the panel. I so wish we could do that more often, when we could hear and listen to our students and our deans and our instructors together. It gives such a fuller picture of who we are as a community. So I thank you all, and I particularly want to tip my little ears to my board member on the foundation, Vincent Belowing. Thank you, Vincent, for being such a strong leader in so many ways in our institution. It means a lot. Every time I hear you, I listen very carefully. So thank you all so much. What a blessing you are. So here we are. We're supposed to have fun this afternoon. we can think of lots of ways to have fun, and maybe trivia on the trivia on the Zoom wasn't it, but we're going to a different website. So at least you get a little change it up here. So you'll see that there's a website on which we're going to play all our games. It's called Kahoot. And on your phone, your mobile device, if you will go to www.kahoot.it, if you put that into your phone, and we're going to leave this on for a minute so you can get there, www.kahoot.it. We're going to get ready to play Halloween trivia. I dressed the part for you so that you would know which one I was doing. When you get in there in a moment, we're going to see the pin. And when you get into it, it's going to ask you for a pin, and then it wants you to type a name. You're going to want to type your last name and your first initial. Well, why is that instead of a funny Halloween name? It's because that's the only way we're going to know who actually won the game. So if you want to win a $50 gift certificate and you think you're really great at this, you should definitely put in your last name and first initial. So shall we move to the next slide so we can see the pin for our In Kahoot? We all know that for every game we play or watch on TV, there's always the magical person that makes it happen for us. And our Wheel of Fortune person today is Dee Dee. So why don't we say Dee Dee Radula? Why don't we give Dee Dee a clap? Everybody who's on, a big clap. And thank you so much, Dee Dee. You will see that you can put in this game pin 1949412 into that Kahoot. And it also says, if you haven't joined yet, www.kahoot.it. So we can put in, you can put in your PIN number, put your last name and your first initial. I see there's lots of people playing so far, but this isn't everyone. We'll wait a few minutes. How can you have so much fun on a Zoom? Dr. Cortez, your team really figured it out for this year, although I am really missing the treats that you have at every President's Forum. I'm thinking about all those great cookies and cakes. I miss that a lot.
So I just realized we might have more than one winner for the trivia games, because there might be more than one. So is it the first? I'm not, and we've never done this before.
It randomly, just to let you know, Carlos, it randomly selects. So it's really important too, because it takes timing into consideration. So it'll give us the number one winner at the end. But if you're going to answer, do your very best to answer as quick as possible to increase your odds.
Got it. And each answer, each answer is timed. So for each answer, we have a set number of seconds before we move to the next one. So for folks that do need time to think about it, you have a little bit of time, but Star is telling us to answer quickly because that's part of winning.
And so we also have in the chat, someone is asking what the PIN number is, and it's right on the screen. It's 1949412.
Are we ready?
Let's do this.
Have it in. Let's do it. First question, please. In which country did Halloween originate?
Ooh.
In which country did Halloween originate? France, United Kingdom, England, or Ireland?
I see there's 13 questions total for this trivia quiz.
It looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready. Dr. Cortez, did you answer?
I did, but I don't think I'm right. I honestly have no idea. So, well, I was just told that I'm not right. So I'm one of the three reds.
You're going to know more about Halloween than you ever thought you wanted to know after this quiz. Here we have it. And the answer is Ireland.
Uh-oh, Carl's winning this one.
Which two colors are traditionally associated with Halloween? Which two colors are traditionally associated with Halloween? Black and yellow, orange and brown, black and orange, brown and orange.
And I messed up this one too. I picked the wrong one. This is like a gimme.
Make your decision quickly. We're almost done with this one. Dr. Cortez, there were only 2 people who didn't get it right. You are among them.
Saying a lot about my knowledge of trivia here, huh?
It is.
I'm a big picture person. Trivia is the
The
details.
next question is double points. What do the 2 colors represent? What do the 2 colors represent? Happiness and sadness, life and death, yin and yang, and all of the above.
How am I supposed to know this?
Follow what's in your heart.
Well, you gave the hardest one first. The Halloween are the hardest questions.
Oh, we'll just wait and see. We have election questions for people that don't like politics.
The answer
All
is
of the
all of the above. Very good. A few people really got that. Look at that. And we have a new
Vincent's in
leader.
the lead right now.
Do pumpkins grow on the ground, on vines, or on trees? Ground, vines, trees. It looks like most people knew it was vines. Dr. Cortez, what did you say?
I said vines. I'm a gardener.
Yay.
And my nickname as a child was Pumpkin. So I know pumpkins and I know vines.
Oh my God, that's so cute, Dr. Cortez Pumpkin.
They called me Pumpkin.
Little Pumpkin.
The nurse named me Pumpkin because I was orange.
What is a male witch called? What is a male witch called? Witcher, witch, warlock, or wizard? Counting down on this one. Warlock. Dr. Cortez?
I got it right. I
Okay,
think it's the second one.
We're rooting for you, Pumpkin.
Vincent is killing it.
Really is. Double points again. What were jack-o'-lanterns originally carved out of? What were jack-o'-lanterns originally carved out of? Turnips, potatoes, onions, butternut squash. A few more seconds, 10 seconds more.
John Broma is telling us that warlock is out of favor, which is a gender neutral term now.
Turnips and potatoes. Dr. Cortez, what did you do?
That was confusing because I didn't know you could pick more options than one.
I didn't either.
I didn't either. Dr. Cortez, what did you choose?
Butternut squash.
Oh,
I said I know pumpkins. I don't know turnips.
sorry, Pumpkin. New quiz. What was candy corn originally called? What was candy corn originally called? Jelly Belly, sweet corn, chicken feed, sugar.
The worst candy in the world. But I dated somebody once who loved it and would buy it at Halloween for the entire year. So would buy, would like a squirrel would put it away, buy 10, 12 bags and eat it slowly throughout the year.
Most everybody knew. Dr. Cortez Pumpkin, tell us what you said.
Sweet corn.
Got it.
I would have called it chicken poop though instead of chicken feed. My worst candy.
So everybody knows when we're displeased with Pumpkin, we just send him a bag of chicken feed, which is the same as candy corn.
Off-brand and out of season.
Off-brand and out of season. Oh, who sang Monster Mash? Who is it who sang Monster Mash? Bob Dylan, Bob Marley, Bob Singer, Bobby Pickett. Go ahead, sing it, Dr. Cortez.
No. I don't sing at work and I don't dance at work.
We can all sing it. Everybody sing it to yourself at home. Bobby Pickett.
Well, I didn't even know who that was, but I picked him.
Oh, you did so good. Well, Pumpkin.
It just really is a process of elimination, I think. Good test-taking strategies we're learning here now.
Exactly. This is educational. Who wrote the novel Frankenstein? Who wrote the novel Frankenstein? Shirley Jackson, Stephen King, Mary Shelley, Edgar Allan Poe. That's a good-looking Frankenstein on the screen.
I had to read it in high school, so I know the answer here. But I don't like monsters.
Shirley Jackson?
Well, that's news to me because I thought it was Mary Shelley.
Everybody thought it was Mary Shelley. Only 2 people got Shirley Jackson. Somebody needs to Google that and put it in the chat.
Get us some real information here.
Yeah, we need to learn here.
Anyhow, the computer can't be wrong, they say.
Is a pumpkin a fruit or a vegetable? Is a pumpkin a fruit or a vegetable? 2 choices, a fruit or a vegetable. Do you grow pumpkins, little Dr. Cortez Pumpkin?
Of course I grow pumpkins every year.
Do you have them growing now?
They are growing. They're picked, actually.
It's a fruit.
Yeah, you can tell by the seed. The type of seed it has means it's a fruit.
Tell us more.
It's the seeds. That's what makes it a fruit.
Oh, that it has.
Cucumbers have similar seeds. Watermelon have similar seeds. It's the type of seed.
Do you roast the seeds?
I do roast the seeds. They're delicious.
Well, we would like some of those also, if you would send us all your packages. Which candy bar was named after a family horse? Which candy bar was named after a family horse? Hershey, Snickers, Reese's, Kit Kat.
Oh, that moment when you pick one and then you wish you pick a different one. That happens on elections too. So make sure you think carefully about who you're going to vote for next week.
Snickers. Dr. Cortez, what did
I got it right, but then I thought it was Kit Kat. So
you got to bet on Kit Kat at the racetrack, right?
that's what I thought. That's how they're trying to throw you off, though.
They really are.
Mary Shelley is the author of Frankenstein, signed an English major from Jen Gerald.
Final question. Bones of the Dead is a traditional Halloween dish. What kind of food is it? Bones of the Dead is a traditional Halloween dish. What kind of food is it? Pastry, stew, pasta, bread?
I have no idea.
Do you talk to the television too, Dr. Cortez?
I do, and it drives my spouse crazy, especially when I'm watching politics on TV.
It's a pastry.
Give me a break.
Maybe it's related to Pan Muertos in some way, although maybe not. It would be fun. We learned a lot about Dia de los Muertos at the town hall this week. That was fantastic.
So educational. That's why people are going to be prepared for the next trivia.
Well, let's see who the winner is.
Isn't there one more?
Oh, that said it was the last one. Maybe there's one more.
There you go. That's
One
select.
more.
Multi-select. Did everyone see that? You
Yeah,
can
you can
choose
choose more than
multiple
one.
answers.
Which
There was our
Halloween
clue.
movie do you enjoy most? Which Halloween movie do you enjoy most? Beetlejuice, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Addams Family, Halloween Town.
I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense. How can you pick more? And how's the computer going to know if I'm right or not?
I think they'll give it to everybody.
Everyone wins? I see.
I think so.
Okay. That was like the free spot in bingo.
It was.
All right. Let's see who won.
You
For
ready?
$50. For
Come on, drum roll,
$50
everybody,
prize.
wherever you are, give it a drum roll.
And I'm going to ask you, please, Rebecca Lawrence, my assistant, is going to need your name and your email and your mailing address so I can send you the gift card.
3, we have first place, second place, and third place. Let's look.
Only first place gets the prize.
Yay, let's applaud our first place winner. That's Lauren. Lauren, you did great. And you were on the panel. You're clean up today. Yay, Lauren.
Look at that, 2 gift cards.
Oh, what a great day.
Yeah, thanks.
You want to
Awesome.
say
That
anything?
brings us to our pet costume competition, but we also had a second and a third place, right?
There you have it.
Marie Dorner and Kimmy Salerno, 2 faculty members in our DSPS program. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you. And now we're going to move our PowerPoint back to the slideshow because we're going to show the photos that were submitted. Some of them are just honorable mention. Some of the photos are just honorable mention because they weren't formally submitted into the competition for judging, including my puppy, one of my 3 puppies, which is the first one that will be shown in just a moment. And then you will see submissions from other employees. We did not include the names because we didn't want the names of the employees to inform the judges' decision. They only got pictures of the pet dressed in Halloween costumes. And our judges representing the administrative team were Dean Lucas, Mitzelindi from the Classified Senate, and Rachel Rose from the Academic Senate. And now let's look at the entries, please. That's Amsterdam as an Ewok. He also has a Yoda costume, so she does. But we went with the Ewok for this year. She's my middle-sized dog. I have 3 bulldogs, 1 Frenchie and 2 English. And then we'll move on to pet 2 is Bonnie. This is a lovely Scottish Terrier. I have a feeling I know whose dog this is, but I could be mistaken. We know somebody loves Scottish culture at our organization. But I could be wrong. And then Kiki the queen bee. Look at this gorgeous puppy in her lovely frock. Number 4 is Mayo. Beetlejuice is the costume. Check out Beetlejuice. Second time Beetlejuice is referenced in today's Spooktacular forum. And we have a little information about Beetlejuice that at Halloween, this lovely puppy transforms and becomes rude, crude, and offensive. All she wants is to marry Lydia in order to leave the netherworld and enter the mortal world to chase balls and park with real live dogs. Truly not too much to ask on All Hallows Eve. Brings us to pet 5, Gilligan Davis in the costume of Gilligan Beanie Fur Baby. Look at that clever outfit. A 2020 limited edition fur baby. And number 6, Chewy. Somewhere in between rainbows is the name of this costume. Look at that gorgeous gnome. For those who know I'm a gardener, also knows that I am a collector of garden gnomes, especially the older ones. Chewy was extremely excited to enter this Halloween costume contest. To that point, he recruited his brothers Duke and Boston to act as props for his photo shoot. Happy Halloween, SDCE family. And number 7 is Presley, dressed as a ladybug. How adorable is this puppy? Ladybug Presley is ready for a spot on Halloween. Pet number 8, Chloe, Ghostbuster. Look at this ham. What a gorgeous dog that is. You can always call on this Ghostbuster. Number 9 is Ziggy, dressed as Batman. Look at that frock. I wasn't aware Batman wore a tutu, but the times are changing, aren't they? Ziggy is a handsome little devil. Number 10 is Jenkins, the dapper dog. This individual became innovative and used graphic design as part of their pets' costumery. And pets 11 and 12 come as a pair. Primo Pele L left and Simba Night L right. Their costumes are interviewees waiting on their interviews in their favorite ties. I wonder if this submitter tried to get both cats in one picture, but found it hard to do so. I know I had two cats who both passed last year after one was 23 years old, if you can believe it. But they would never sit in a picture together. Oh, and there is a 13, the Sailor. Sailor is this handsome dog's name, and the costume is Zoom Worker. Gosh, it makes my eyes hurt just looking at this beautiful pup. Is that all of our submissions, or do we have more? I think that's all, correct? Okay, Lori Cozzolino, did you have a question? I see a raised hand. It might have been a mistake. Okay, so let's go to the next slide then, please. Before we go to Dia de los Muertos trivia, we're going to bring Dean Andre Lucas on, who has worked with the judges and pre-selected a winner in advance. The participants had to submit their photographs in advance of today's meeting. The judges have met, and I believe we have a winner. And just like the Academy, no one here knows, other than the judges, whose name is going to be announced for a $100 gift card. Andre.
Hello, everyone, and happy Halloween or happy Halloween Eve. This was a very difficult decision. We actually had to go through this about 2 or 3 different times. But the winner is, and I'll do a little drum roll, Mayo. So pet number 4, Mayo, who is dressed up as Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. And whose dog is that? Do we know?
No, I do not know whose dog that is.
Does anyone know? Rebecca, do you know by chance? Or is the person with us, and can they disclose their identity?
Melissa.
Melissa Howe. Congratulations, Melissa. We love your puppy. All right, and we're now moving on to our next trivia. Thank you to our deans and all of our judges on that panel. And before we move on to our Dia de los Muertos trivia activity facilitated by Dr. Rivera-Lacey, I do want to say a couple thank yous. Thank you to everyone who made this forum possible, including the lovelies Juliet and Rebecca, my executive assistants since Kim's departure, Tim Sailor, Renessa Ashton, Ginger Davis, Didi Radula, Patricia Lopez, and I hope I'm not missing anyone. And of course, the incomparable Star Rivera-Lacey, who's always very supportive for these public events with her team as well. I want to thank our ASL translator, Tracy, who's with us today, providing translation. It's important that we recognize everyone that makes this event possible. And did want to remind you, if you are the winner of a gift card, you want to contact my assistants. And Rebecca, if you don't mind putting your email address in the chat box so that winners can contact you, so that they can give you their first and last name, their email address, and their mailing address, so that we can get the gift cards delivered to you this weekend. They'll go out, okay? Now let's shift to Dia de los Muertos trivia, and Star, take it away.
Well, here we go. So, those of you who'd attended the event on Monday, you guys already have a heads up on this game. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before. So we're going to go again to www.kahoot.it on your phone or mobile device. And now you're all pros. And so once again, we're going to put up the game pin number in just a second. And if you remember, we want you to please type in your last name and your first initial in order for us to identify you. And then once you have the pin number, we'll go ahead and click join to play. So on that note, let's switch slides. Okay, so here we go. So now your PIN number for this game is 31107 06. Oh, Aaron is already in there. Quick Draw McGraw. Aaron, Dr. Aaron Iflin's already in there. Our Vice President Michelle is joining us. I see Stephanie Lewis. Great. So far we got 15 players. Oh, I see Roberta, Jennifer, Jan Jarrell. You guys are serious. Quick Draw McGraws. Great. Okay. Vincent's back in the game. We see our competitive spirits coming back. Oh, someone's Pumpkin C. That's interesting.
That's me.
Ah, okay.
And I'm the Gothic girl, JS.
Got it. All right. Carl's
That's my
back to
nickname.
win. Carl's back to win. Okay.
How you doing, Carlos?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, long time no see.
Long time no see.
I see you one time at Walmart. That's it.
I remember.
Okie dokie, it looks like we have over 30 players, so why don't we go ahead and get started? And remember that you can join, even if you join late, you can join. So this is our Dia de los Muertos trivia. Okay, so this one's a true and false. So Halloween is the same day as the Day of the Dead, the Dia de los Muertos. Again, Halloween is the same as the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. Gonna give us a true false. We're coming
Gosh,
on.
I feel like I'm cheating because of this wonderful presentation we had on Monday. I learned so much.
Oh, now let's see. I thought we still had 10 seconds and it moved it quickly. Oh my, okay. So it looks like overwhelming, we got false. So that is correct. It is on a different day and a different meaning. So it looks like, is it Aaron? Trying to see the scores. I'm trying to see the point system.
I'm not seeing scores listed yet, so why don't we-
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We may have to relaunch this, guys, but because we're live, but we're gonna try again. Let's go to the next one and see if it'll give us the 30 seconds and if it'll give us scores. Okay, so this is a double point one. Okay, and remember, the quicker you are, it counts. So this one is the first Dia de los Muertos parade in Mexico City was inspired by what movie? Again, the first Dia de los Muertos parade in Mexico City was inspired by what movie? Oh, you know what I'm seeing? I'm thinking if once everybody answers, it moves us forward.
Oh, that could be it.
Okay,
Well, I
because
can
it's
tell
we
you
have
that-
5, 4.
My favorite cousin is Coco. His name is Rafael, but we call him Coco. Everyone in my family has nicknames.
So the correct answer is Spectra. Spectra. So I'm gonna have to Google that and look up that movie. Good to know, good to know. All right, so let's go on to our next question where, oh, I see points. We're doing good. We're doing good. All right, we'll go on to the next one. Okay, question number 3. Halloween celebrates death, while Dia de los Muertos celebrates life. True or false? Halloween celebrates death, while Dia de los Muertos celebrates life. I'm telling you, I'm glad I'm not taking this quiz. I don't know if I'm overthinking it. I'm like, oh, that's a hard one. Looks
That
like
is a
we have a
tricky
couple
one.
seconds left, and there we go. So we have true.
This
The answer
round
is-
is moving faster, I have to say. That's okay. We the first round was practice.
Yeah, so now we're more adept at it.
Now we're
Okay,
flying through it. Yeah.
let's try our next one.
Aaron's a ninja. Dr. Iflin.
All right. 4 out of, let's see, in which days is Dia de los Muertos different? In which ways, excuse me, is Dia de los Muertos different from Halloween? In which ways is Dia de los Muertos different from Halloween?
So you can pick more than one again here. See the ways you get more
Was
than
this
one.
one of
option.
those select more than one?
Yep.
Ah,
Is that a real hat, Star? Or is that one of those Zoom hats? Because it looks itchy.
no, look at, this is like my flower crown
Oh,
for Dia
wow,
de
it's
los
beautiful.
Muertos. All of the above. You were right, Carlos. I'm glad you said it was an all select. All right, next question. It says 3 players have reached 3 answer streaks, 3 right answer streaks. Okay, so this one, what is the traditional fragrant flower? What is the traditional fragrant flower used for Dia de los Muertos?
And by the way, the flower that's being shown is not even on the list.
You would know that. It's at least the same, well, not even the same color. It's
Not
a
even
hue
the
of the color. All right, marigold, right answer. We had 18 right answers.
No phone a friend.
So Aaron is still ahead. Crystal Monal's right behind him, and Michelle Fishstall.
Michelle's cleaning house too. Aaron's married to a Latina, I believe, so.
During this ancient celebration, what does a butterfly represent? During this ancient celebration, what does a butterfly represent?
That's a really good one.
Yeah, that's because we talked about this on Monday, if I remember correctly, too.
Are people giving out candy this year for Halloween? Is that something we're supposed to do this year?
Spirit of a loved one.
Wow.
Some people, what they're doing is, we'll go to the next question. Some people are leaving buckets outside and going through the honor system, like in individual bags. All right, looks like Aaron is still ahead. Oh my. All right. What is probably the reason for incense on an altar? What is probably the reason for incense on an altar?
A strange question. It's not very, what is probably the reason? What could maybe be the answer?
We're gonna get a bunch of challenges at the end, Carlos.
I don't want any complaints from folks. I don't want any letters.
Apparently, the fragrance draws the spirit of the altar is considered the right answer. So, fragrance draws the spirit of the altar is considered the right answer. Next question.
I love incense, but my partner can't stand it. So we're an incense-free house. I lost that war.
Okay, Michelle's moving up. So Aaron's still in the lead. Michelle's moving up, and now Crystal's taking 3rd place. All right, next question.
For $50, folks.
I caught it this time, Carlos. It's a multi-select. Pick more than one answer. How does one know the spirit of a loved one has come back to visit?
Oosh.
Food on the altar disappears, their presence can be felt, or furniture is moved.
I thought I had spirits in my house. It ended up that there were rats in my attic from the canyon. But that went my theory about ghosts. A lot cheaper to fix and easier though.
You didn't have to call Ghostbusters.
That dog was so cute. I have to know whose Frenchie that was. That dog was beautiful.
Saying that their presence can be felt. Okay. Now we're going on to question number 10. Is Aaron still in the lead?
Aaron is still in the lead. He's cleaning house.
All right. Okay, Michelle, I have faith in you. Come on, Crystal, don't give up. Okay, question number 9. A traditional food to celebrate Dia de los Muertos is pan de muerto, rolled tacos, carne asada, or nachos.
I won all 4.
I know, all of a sudden I'm hungry. Oh, wow, that was quick. That moved quick. I think it's because people answered. And as soon as people answered, it stopped. So pan de muerto. Let's go to our next one.
Our final one, right?
Now back in second. Aaron's still holding on to that lead.
Oh, can Crystal make up on this last question? That's the question.
Which of the following is not included on an altar? Candles and bath soap, tamales, tacos, and tortillas, photos of loved ones, or unpaid bills? Which of the following is not included on an altar? I think I know the answer to this one.
I think you know the answers.
I'm gonna wait till
the answers.
There we go, unpaid bills.
All right, and now we got to see who our winner is for this round and the winner of a $50 gift card.
Let's see, because that was a 10 of 11, 10 of 11. Hit next, Dee Dee, to see if we have a. Oh, it's a double point. We have one more,
bonus
Carlos.
question. Bonus
Which
question.
is not a reason Dia de los Muertos originated. Which is not a reason Dia de los Muertos originated. The answers could be honored, to create another holiday, harvests could be shared with deceased loved ones, a complete cycle of life would be represented. All right. Folks are quick. We already have 28 answers. That's you guys are fast. All right. So to create another holiday is not one of the reasons. So
Very good. So now
okay, now I think we're getting there. Now we're getting to podium winners. Third place, Crystal. Good job, Crystal. You hung in there tough. Okay. Second, Dr. Michelle Fishdahl. Good job. And the winner is Dr. Erin Ifland.
Congratulations,
And we
Erin.
also had some runners up in 4 and 5. So good job.
Great job, guys. That's going to bring us to our third and final trivia, which will wrap us up then for the afternoon. And this one is focused on our election. And so the wonderful Dee Dee, I believe, is pulling up the third game. And this one focuses on politics in the office of the president and is in alignment with next week's vote. And for those that are political nerds like me, I can update you. There are 80,721,000 people have voted already in the United States. Last election, there was 138 million. So if we get 5 or 10 a day for the next couple of days, we can have over 100 million people who have voted before election day had even arrived. This is really kind of crazy. And early voting is blowing up. I read yesterday that 1 out of 5 of those casted votes came from somebody who never voted before. We have never seen that in the United States before, where 20% of the electorate that has voted so far are new voters. Pretty cool. I hope everyone out there is voting. You have to pull up Kahoot it, please, on your mobile phone device as you did before, and then enter the game pin, your last name and first initial, and then click join to play.
I have to go.
Make sure you email Rebecca your information, and this is your last chance to win a $50 cash gift card. Voting in presidential history trivia. There's your pin, 5401820. That's right. Here we go. Keep them coming in. Keep them coming. Your last chance to win $50. You're playing right off your mobile device. You need to go to Kahoot.it, the website at the top of the slide, and then enter in the game pin 5401820. The focus of the third trivia game is presidential history. By the way, we'll be playing games again for our holiday party in December. It's so nice to have students with us. We hope more students will come to that event as well. We'll have more cash prizes, and we'll have some sort of competition or contest that we're preparing for now. Details will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. Okay, I see 36 people in the side. So now we will prepare to start the game. Let's get ready to rumble. 3, 2, 1. How many presidents passed away during their presidency? How many presidents passed away during their presidency? 8 or 4? You don't need to know who they are. You just need to know how many. Do. And just a handful of you got that one right. So let's move on to the next question then. Erin Ifland already cleaning house on the scoreboard. Might be a double winner today. Save me a stamp. What year did women obtain the right to vote? 1918, 1930, 1920. What year did women get the right to vote? Do, 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 do. Thank you all for participating in this year's President's Spooktacular Forum. As Lori Koski said earlier, it's always nicer to be present in person, but I'm happy for each of you for making the time out of your schedule to join us today. The correct answer is 1920. Brings us to our third out of 14 questions. This is the longest of our games. Who was the youngest president when voted in? Who was the youngest president? William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, Bill Clinton, and John F. Kennedy. McKinley and Roosevelt are responsible for the American colonization of Puerto Rico. They are more than likely the reason why I'm here in this position in this country. Excellent. Next, please. Number 4, what year did African American women get the right to vote? You'll notice it wasn't the same as all other women. African American women were not issued the right to vote at the time that white women won the right to vote. 1930, 1945, 1955, or 1965? And the answer is 1965. Excellent work. Well, for those who got it right, excellent work. For those who didn't, you hopefully learned something. And then we move on to question 5. Here on the quiz hour, which amendment gave African American men the right to vote? The 13th Amendment, the 15th Amendment, the 16th Amendment, or the 17th Amendment? I just realized everyone could just Google these answers, but I guess if it's about how fast you get the answer incorrect. So that's what I should have been doing rather than guessing. What amendment? It was the 15th. That takes us to our next question. We are now on question 6 out of 14.
You got movement on your leaderboard too, Carlos.
Oh, which of the following is not a criteria to be U.S. president? Which of the following is not a criterion to be a U.S. president? Which of these, 3 of these are required if you want to become president. One of them is not a requirement. Natural born U.S. citizen, at least 35 years old. You can't have a criminal record and you've had to live in the United States for 14 years. One of these is not a requirement, and the computer says no criminal record. It's not a requirement. You could have gone to prison, you could have a record, and you can still be president. In fact, you could probably commit crimes, it seems, while you're in the presidency and continue to be president. Cameron, Carl Cameron, we must have trivia people here. I know some people really like trivia games and it's part of their culture and life. Who was the first Catholic president? Was it Lyndon Johnson, George Bush Sr., John Quincy Adams, John Kennedy? Who was the first and only Catholic president? Depending on the outcome of next week's election, we might have our second Catholic president. Interestingly, Catholics are heavily or disproportionately represented on the Supreme Court. There's a lot of Catholics on the Supreme Court, which is kind of surprising when you consider American history. Excellent. John Kennedy, Irish Catholic. I went to Irish Catholic school myself. By the time I got there were more Puerto Ricans than Irish, though. What year did 18-year-olds get the right to vote? The vote was limited to people 21 and older until what year was the voting age reduced to age 18? 1950, 1960, and 1970 are your options, or none of these. What year did 18-year-olds get the right to vote? And the computer says 1970. We're moving fast here, and Aaron is back in first place.
Carl was giving him a run for his money.
I'm telling you, we have a lot of contenders here. I can tell some people have trivia skills. I can tell you I'm not one of them. In what month do we vote for president? October, November, December, January. And if anyone gets this wrong, I'm going to be very upset because it's right around the corner. Next Tuesday is what month? Thank you. We inaugurate the
In
president.
October.
January, we inaugurate the president. All righty. Moving on then. Remember, the faster you answer, the higher score you're going to receive. If both the president and vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president? Is it the Speaker of the House, the President pro tempore of the United States, the Secretary of State, or the Secretary of Treasury? Who becomes president if the president and vice president are incapacitated and can no longer serve for any reason? If they have to leave their jobs or if they pass away, who takes over? And the answer is Speaker of the House. Wonderful work, team. Let's keep it pushing. Uh-oh, we have new names now in the contention for first place. A U.S. president is elected for 4 years. Is that true or false? A U.S. president is elected for 4 years. Is this answer true or false? Is this statement correct or inaccurate? And the answer is true. Aaron might be getting 2 gift cards. It's going to be a nice week next week in this family. Money's a-flowing. Which president signed the Civil Rights Act of 1957? Was it Harry Truman, Dwight Eisenhower, John Kennedy, Franklin Roosevelt? Better question, who was president in 1957? You have 4 choices there. 3 Democrats and 1 Republican. Make sure next week you're not just voting for president, but you're voting all the way down the ballot. Dwight Eisenhower, former a military leader in World War II who became president. And that brings us to our next question. This is 13, so we have 2 questions left. Which president signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964? Was it Richard Nixon, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson? 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. Nixon was the president who did leave the presidency, but his vice president took over. John F. Kennedy also left the presidency. He was killed as president, assassinated, and his vice president, Lyndon B. Johnson, took over, which is why Johnson became president and ultimately signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last game and the end of trivia and soon the end of Spooktacular President's Forum. Some states barred Native Americans from voting until what year? Native Americans were not allowed to vote in some states until what year? Is the answer 1925, 1940, 1948, 1955? For a $50 cash prize, the winner is 1948. And the winner of our 3rd trivia game is 3rd place, Marie Dorner. 2nd place, Corinne Layton. And 1st place, Aaron Iflin, Dr. Iflin. I know who I want on my team next time we play trivia. You see 3 winners right there. Well, thank you all very much for being here. Thank you everyone for being part of this convening today. It's always a pleasure to have an opportunity to engage and interact with each of you. I hope that you appreciated this approach rather than having a business meeting and a lot of content, having a lighter agenda and just some fun with one another. If you have any feedback or thoughts on what we should do for our virtual December holiday party, please let me know. And again, we hope you all will join us then. Please stay safe. Take care of yourself. Self-love and self-care is important, especially during these uncertain times. And even more important than that, right at this moment, please make sure you vote and call 5 people who you know don't usually vote and make sure they vote too. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your contributions. And Star and Lori, thank you for helping to facilitate this panel, as well as everyone behind the scenes, including the lovely Dee Dee, who managed our technology seamlessly. Take care, everyone.